What to do if you're holding cash. Holding large amounts of cash during geopolitical tensions and inflationary risks may feel safe, but your money could silently lose value over time. 1. Shift part of your cash into inflation-proof assets. Consider moving into gold, physical or ETFs, US dollars or other strong currencies, commodities like oil or agriculture via ETFs or related stocks. These assets often maintain or increase value during crises. 2. Avoid holding too much cash. While cash ensures liquidity, during high inflation it rapidly loses purchasing power. A general guideline is to keep no more than 20 to 30% of your portfolio in cash, with the rest actively working for you. 3. Diversify your portfolio. Look into rental real estate, which often adjusts with inflation. Stocks in essential sectors like energy, food, utilities. Government bonds or floating rate bonds that can better adapt to rising interest rates. Final thoughts. If a US-Iran war breaks out, it will trigger far more than just a geopolitical crisis. Oil prices could soar, supply chains could break down, and inflation could surge, just like it has in past conflicts. If you're sitting on cash, you're exposed to one of the greatest silent risks, devaluation through inflation. The best time to prepare is before the crisis begins. If you want me to break down each asset class or explain how to build an inflation-resistant portfolio, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next update. You will lose a lot of money if you ignore this video. Don't go anywhere. This is the terrible reality that war will affect your wallet. How a US-Iran war could affect inflation, and what to do if you're holding cash. A war between the US and Iran would not just be a military conflict, it would send shockwaves through the global financial system. One of the most immediate and serious consequences would be surging inflation. 1. Oil prices would skyrocket. Iran is a major oil exporter, and the US is a dominant force in global energy markets. If a war breaks out, global oil supply chains could be severely disrupted. The Strait of Hormuz, where over 20% of the world's oil passes through, could be blocked. As a result, oil prices would spike, followed by increases in transportation costs, raw material prices, and eventually consumer prices. This is how inflation spreads rapidly. Historical examples: the Gulf War, 1990 to 1991. When Iraq invaded Kuwait, oil prices more than doubled within months. The US and its allies intervened, leading to an energy crisis. Inflation in the US spiked after years of stability. 1973 oil crisis, Yom Kippur War. OPEC imposed an oil embargo on the US, causing oil prices to quadruple. US inflation surged to 11% in 1974. 2. Production costs and consumer prices rise. With higher energy and material costs, manufacturers face massive pressure. Production becomes more expensive. Companies pass those costs on to consumers. The result? Everyday goods become more expensive, and inflation ripples through the entire economy. 3. Investor panic and capital flight. War creates fear and uncertainty. Investors tend to flee risky markets like stocks or real estate and move their money into safe haven assets such as gold, the US dollar, or government bonds. This capital flight hurts emerging markets, weakens local currencies, increases the cost of imports, and accelerates inflation in developing economies.